This video was created by VinylicPuma of VinylicPumaGaming.
What's up, guys? So I'm back with another Nuka World weapons analysis, and today I'm going to be going over the new Acid Soaker pistol that got added with the new DLC. Overall, while I think this gun is an interesting concept, it ultimately is not worth the time and effort to acquire ammo for it, which is unfortunate because I think if the implementation was a little bit better, I could see a lot of people using this gun. Now, before we get into stats or anything, I think it's important to explain what the Acid Soaker does. In addition to providing a minimal damage over time effect, the Acid Soaker provides a debuff to enemies that get hit with the acid for a short period of time, and this debuff temporarily lowers an enemy's damage resistance. While the effect isn't life-changing or anything, it is noticeable provided you switch weapons after tagging an enemy with the acid. Now, the Acid Soaker stats are mediocre at best. While the magazine size and accuracy ratings are good at 20 bullets per mag and 89 accuracy respectively, most of the other stats don't fare that well. From what I'm able to tell, the Soaker deals 10 poison damage per second, has a fire rate of 66, and a god-awful range of 35. Now, I should have mentioned it earlier, but the weight on the Acid Soaker is actually pretty decent at just 3 pounds, and while the value per bottle caps is low at like 125, that's not really that big of a deal in my opinion. From what I'm also able to tell, the damage resistance debuff appears to last 5 seconds or so, and as to how much the damage resistance is decreased, I honestly was not able to tell, though I will say it's probably about 35% or so. Now, another issue I have with the Acid Soaker is that there are no upgrades that are available for it. You can't seem to make the effects more potent, nor can you increase the range of the projectiles either. This means in order to use this thing, you need to be really close to an enemy, and in the case of really tough enemies, it's sort of risky to use the Acid Soaker. Even still, the concept here is actually really good. The ability to debuff an enemy like this reminds me a lot of the Borderlands games, but Borderlands 1 more specifically. Now, for those of you that haven't played that game, acid weapons could be used to apply corrosive effects on an enemy, and they would also take more damage as a result of that. It was a really powerful effect in that game and made later difficulties in Borderlands 1 a lot easier. Now, the main problem with the Acid Soaker is how frustrating it is to acquire ammo for it. While the acid concentrate ammo it uses is really good for survival mode, as it's got a really good weight and you can carry about 34 or so per pound, the real problem with the acid concentrate is that it can't be purchased from vendors, meaning the only way to get ammo for the gun is to craft it, and to make matters worse, the crafting requirements for the ammo are ridiculously high. To give you an idea, to craft one shot of acid concentrate, which is one trigger pull, you need 20 acid, 2 adhesive, and 8 glass. So just to reiterate, that is for one bullet or shot of acid concentrate. And to fill an entire magazine, you need 400 acid, 40 adhesive, and 160 glass. As you can probably guess, this one thing totally breaks the Acid Soaker. The ammo for this gun should cost an eighth or less than what the requirements currently are, especially considering that this is the only way to get this ammo type. Honestly, guys, this gun is a shame because while it does use some existing assets in the form of the Deliverer and the combat rifle for the weapon body and barrel respectively, overall, I like the look of the weapon. In terms of concept, I also think it's a really good idea, especially up against enemies that would have high health, as you can kill them a little faster with the corrosive effects active. The biggest problem here, though, is the impracticality of that ammo, and that sucks because many of the other problems I cited earlier could really easily be fixed with a couple mods made by the modding community. If you ultimately want to get one of these things, though, you will need to go to Nuka Town, USA and enter the Nuka-cade. The Acid Soaker is one of the prizes there, and it costs about 6,250 Nuka Tickets. Now, the fastest way to get tickets without using console commands or cheating or whatever would be to play the target shooting minigame, as high scores can reward up to 1,000 tickets if you can get 10,000 points. I'd say you should have enough tickets to get the Acid Soaker, provided you play the game about 10 times or so. Now, would I recommend the Acid Soaker? Honestly, guys, heck no. Bethesda should really consider lowering the crafting requirements here. They are way too high for what you are ultimately getting. Now, that said, if the crafting requirements as they are now gave you 20 shots of the acid concentrate, that would actually make a lot more sense. And I actually have a feeling that maybe that's what Bethesda was trying to do, but ultimately when stuff got implemented, it didn't work out that way. So maybe this weapon is actually bugged. Ultimately, guys, this gun needs the crafting costs for its ammo to be lowered as the way it is right now. I also think if you had the ability to have longer barrels to increase the range, or interchangeable receivers which would allow you to boost the length and the potency of the effects, this gun would be much more useful and more interesting to use for the Fallout community. Alright guys, that's going to pretty much wrap up this particular video. So on that Nuka Nuke launcher video, I was really tired, and I actually think after this video I'm probably going to go to bed. Don't worry, we're going to have more Fallout videos tomorrow, but I have just been up for like over 24 hours and I need to sleep. So again guys, take care and I'll see y'all next time.